Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back with a new episode of Stories. I am Bella, a wanderer of the night and a collector of the darkest tales. This is Belladarktales, where I share stories that will haunt your dreams. Without wasting any time, let's begin tonight's chilling encounters, carefully selected for you. Story 1 is sent by Emily from Denver, Colorado. She says, I grew up in an old house, the kind with creaky wooden floors and a basement that always felt too dark, even with the lights on. But the worst part? The crawl space. It was a narrow, dusty little gap beneath the stairs, barely big enough for a person to squeeze through. My parents stored old holiday decorations there, but even as a kid, I hated going near it. The air was always stale, and I swear I could hear something shifting inside at night. When I was 12, I had my first real encounter. I was home alone, watching TV in the living room, when I heard the unmistakable sound of something dragging across the floor, coming from inside the crawl space. I froze. The house was locked. No one else was home. I turned off the TV, straining my ears. Silence. Then knock, knock, knock. 3 slow taps from inside the crawl space door. I ran out of the house and didn't return until my parents got home. My dad checked inside, but there was nothing. Just dust and old boxes. But that wasn't the last time it happened. Over the years, I'd hear whispers in that hallway. My dog refused to go near the crawl space. Then, one night, my mom found long, deep scratch marks on the inside of the wooden door, marks that hadn't been there before. We moved a year later. I never told the new owners. But sometimes I wonder, did whatever was in there ever leave? Or is it still waiting? Story 2 is sent by Daniel from Portland, Oregon. He says that this happened a few years ago, but I still can't explain it. I was driving home late at night, deep in the Oregon countryside. The fog was thick, the kind that makes it impossible to see beyond a few feet. I was alone, just my headlights cutting through the mist. Then I saw him, a man, standing dead center in the road. No flashlight, no car nearby, just standing there, facing my car. I slammed on the brakes, heart pounding. But as soon as I stopped, he was gone. Not like he ran off into the woods. He just wasn't there anymore. I sat there, gripping the wheel, trying to convince myself I was just seeing things. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement. The man was standing right outside my driver's side window. I floored the gas pedal, speeding away without looking back. But even now, I swear, sometimes when I'm driving at night, I see someone standing in the fog, watching. Story 3 is sent by Sarah M. from San Antonio, Texas. Let's narrate in her words. I used to live in a small apartment near downtown. Nothing fancy, but it was cheap and I liked it until the dreams started. Every night, I'd wake up around 3 a.m., unable to move. At the foot of my bed, I'd see an old woman standing there. Her face was wrinkled and hollow, her eyes black pits. She never spoke, never moved, just stood there, watching me. It happened night after night. Sleep paralysis, I told myself. Just hallucinations. But then I started waking up with bruises. Fingertip-sized bruises on my arms, my legs, even my neck, as if something was grabbing me in my sleep. One night, I woke up gasping for air, feeling invisible hands pressing down on my chest. And this time, the old woman was closer. I broke my lease the next morning and moved out. The nightmares stopped. But sometimes, when I close my eyes at night, I still see her, standing there, waiting. Story 4 is sent by Carlos from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I work night shifts, so I usually get home around 2 a.m. One night, just as I was about to go to bed, I heard a knock at my apartment door. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. I froze. Who would be knocking at this hour? I looked through the peephole. There was no one there. My blood went cold. I stepped back, but then another knock. I looked again. This time there was someone, a woman, standing too close to the door, her head tilted at an unnatural angle. Her hair was wet, dripping down her face. She didn't move, didn't blink. Something inside me screamed, "Don't open it." I stood there, heart hammering, as she slowly raised a hand and waved. I turned off all the lights and sat in the corner of my room until the sun came up. The next morning, I checked my security camera. The footage showed the hallway completely empty. No one was there. So who or what was knocking at my door? So, guys, that was the last story of today. I hope you enjoyed tonight's terrifying tales. If you have your own horror stories, share them with me at belladarktales@gmail.com. I would love to read them here. Like the video if you enjoyed today's stories. I need your support to grow. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to get notified of new terrifying tales. Until next time, remember, the night is always watching. This is Bella, signing off.